What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You guys already know what it is. It's draft season all year long, and today we're going to shine some light here on the Seattle Seahawks because unfortunately they had a very tough loss yesterday to the 49ers, which has really just slimmed down their playoff hopes. But if we're going to be optimistic here, we got some pretty good draft picks because the Denver Broncos suck ass this year. So the Seattle Seahawks are sitting here with the number 2 overall pick, and not just in the first round, but the number 2 pick in the second round as well, in addition to their own draft picks. So this is another opportunity for this team to get younger, develop more players, and just have a brighter future ahead of them. And we're already seeing it, right? You got your 2 starting tackles in Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas in last year's draft. You also have your future running back in Kenneth Walker, and then you also got a superstar cornerback steal in the 5th round in Tariq Woolen. This is just another opportunity to repeat that kind of success and just have a bright future ahead of you. So we have 5 picks here in this 3-round mock draft. And again, if you guys enjoy NFL draft content, this is going to be the channel for you. We took a little bit of a break because I had finals, but we're back. We're back and we're doing mock drafts all over again. Now, first pick, we're going to take Will Anderson. Okay, this defense needs someone to set the tone, make big plays in the big moments, and just be a difference maker, right? We don't have anyone on this team who is a true, top tier edge rusher who's going to disrupt the passing game and put some pressure on the quarterback. Look, if you can build that defensive line, right, and just collapse the pocket, get a lot of pressure in the face of the quarterback, stop the run, right? That's how you make a good defense, right? It starts in the trenches, and same goes for the offense and the offensive line, right? But this defense just needs a superstar right now. They need someone to step up in those big moments, create those momentum shifts. Someone to set the tone on the defense. That's what Will Anderson's going to do for this football team. And that's why this is the beauty. He's the best player available, and he fills a need. This is the ideal scenario for the Seattle Seahawks. And there's definitely an argument to take Jalen Carter. Again, Jalen Carter is not a bad player. This is a player that's going to go in the top 5, top 10 of the NFL draft at least. And the Seahawks, time and again this season, have not been able to stop the run because there's no one in the middle of that defensive line, in the defensive interior, to stop the run. So you could definitely make a case for Jalen Carter. If he got picked here instead of Will Anderson, I wouldn't be surprised. But my preference, we're going to take Will Anderson here. Again, just the superstar that this defense is really looking for, the difference maker. Okay, now, we're sitting here at the number 17 overall pick, and my eyes got wide because Quentin Johnston is still here. Quentin Johnston is a guy who I view has top 10 potential. And I wouldn't imagine him falling all the way to 17. And so, here's the thing, guys, right? We might not necessarily need Quentin Johnston on the Seahawks right now, but this is a damn good football player, and I don't want to pass up on him because sometimes, in certain scenarios, taking the best player available is not the worst thing, even if it doesn't fill a need, right? Here's the thing. I could see Quentin Johnston having a significant role in this offense despite having a strong wide receiver room, right? You have DK Metcalf, who's turning into one of the better receivers in the league. You have Tyler Lockett, who's all reliable, has the ability to stretch the field. Adding another weapon in Quentin Johnston, I mean, look, this guy is the number 1 wide receiver at TCU. He's made a huge difference for Max Duggan. He's a huge reason why this team is in the college football playoff right now. I mean, this guy continuously gets open week after week. He always finds the end zone, right? And look, there are some of you guys who are saying, okay, well, we have the depth. We have Marquise Goodwin. We have Dwayne Eskridge. Let him develop a little bit more. Guys, there are certain scenarios where it's like, okay, we might not need this guy right now. He might not fill other glaring needs, like maybe like the defensive interior that we just talked about. But Quentin Johnston is a dog, and I am not going to pass up on this player. We can go 3 deep right here with this group. Can you imagine Metcalf, Lockett, and Johnston? Just put Lockett in the slot. Look, y'all can get mad at me because it doesn't fill a need. At the end of the day, through the NFL draft, you want to get good football players, right? Quentin Johnston's a good football player. There's no reason why he should be sitting here at number 17 overall. So we're going to take him right here. Again, I do a lot more explaining so you guys understand what my justification for the pick is. But if that was me sitting there at number 17 overall, we're turning that in immediately, okay? Let's see. So Tyree Wilson is a guy who I haven't done a ton of looking at right now, but we just drafted Will Anderson, so we don't need an edge rusher, despite the value that he has right here, but I haven't heard much about him. Brian Branch listed as a cornerback, but he's more of a nickel safety linebacker hybrid, plays a lot of his snaps in the box. Very versatile weapon on the defensive side of the ball, but we kind of already have that in Jamal Adams. I would definitely consider taking a cornerback here, but Tariq Woolen, Kobe Bryant, those two guys haven't been playing bad, being rookies. I think they've shown just a huge amount of, or enough success for me to allow them to keep playing. I'm going to think about this, though, right? Interesting. And if we did take any cornerback, it would be Devin Witherspoon. This is my number 2 corner in the draft behind Cam Smith. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to take Siaki Ika. So, look, we mentioned this before, right? This team needs some defensive interior presence, and they don't have it, right? This would be a huge addition to the team because they not only do they not have the ability to stop the pass at times, but the run game is also just it is the weakest part of this defense. I mean, don't get me wrong, the pass defense has been much better, right? And it's not the worst part of this football team, but them being able to stop the run just doesn't allow you to do anything on the defensive side of the ball, you know? So we're going to take Siaki Ika right here. Again, this is a player that fills a need. I think it's a good football player, and it's going to help this team. I mean, look, we're really trying to build through the trenches right here with our draft picks with Will Anderson and Siaki Ika. So, okay. Sitting here at number 48 overall, there are still some very good cornerbacks, and at this point, I don't think I can pass up on any of them. It's almost like the Quentin Johnston situation where it's like, these players are too good to pass up on in this situation, despite, if you think you already have some talented players in the building already. I mean, this is just going to add another talented player. So I'm going to take Devin Witherspoon here. This is one of the most competitive corners in the entire nation. Very underrated player. I mean, Illinois has been better recently, but he's a huge part of it. Probably their best defensive player. Just a very lockdown guy. He has insane makeup speed. There are times where he is a few yards off of his receiver, but his ability to just cover ground, almost like Tariq Woolen does. This is another really, really good football player that I would love to add to this team. Has a ton of speed, right? He has the length, he has the height, and he can match up with any receiver on any given Sunday, but actually any given Saturday. Granted that he's still playing college football. So we're going to take Devin Witherspoon right here. Look, I know that Tariq Woolen's going to be starting for sure, right? Kobe Bryant, I think definitely could make a case to start again next year if they don't add anyone. I know guys like Michael Jackson on the team also look promising at times, but at this point, it wouldn't hurt to add a guy like that considering the value that we're getting here in the middle of the second round. I would love to get a guy like that on our football team. Now, some interesting players still on the board here. This is our last pick here in the third round. Again, if you guys are enjoying this NFL draft content, please consider subscribing because this is all we do. We just do NFL draft stuff. So, Darnell Washington, I'm definitely going to heavily consider this. Doesn't have a ton of production because he's behind Brock Bowers right now, who's going to be a first-round pick when he's ready to go into the NFL draft. But this dude is a physical freak. I mean, he's standing at 6'7", and he can go out there and catch the ball. And what's huge about his game is not only can he catch the ball, right? I mean, he's a very good blocker as well. So I'm going to definitely consider him. I would also consider Emmanuel Forbes, but I just mentioned we have a lot of depth at cornerback, even especially after drafting Devin Witherspoon. Forbes actually has, I think it was the most pick sixes in college football right now. So that's a very interesting stat. I mean, has a nose for the football, has a nose for the end zone, right? I think we're going to take Darnell Washington here. Now, I don't think he's going to step in and be the number 1 tight end immediately, right? But I definitely think that he can develop into something special just considering the physical attributes that he possesses right now. I think Noah Fant is doing a great job here for the Seattle Seahawks, but it wouldn't hurt to get yet another weapon and just an athletic freak, I think, here in the third round. So we're going to go ahead here and take Darnell Washington. Look, the beauty of this draft that we just had, and we have pick 112. Did I do a 4-round mock draft? I did a 4-round mock draft. We're going to get an extra pick. The beauty of the draft that we've had so far is that there are times where we did take a player based on need, and that's okay because we got good football players. But at the other time, there are picks where we just took the best player available, regardless of whether this position is needed or not. We just got good football players, and that's all you need at the end of the day here at the NFL draft. I mean, would you rather take the best player available or draft for need like you guys did when you guys drafted LJ Collier? What does LJ Collier become? A complete bum, right? So sometimes drafting for need is not the way to go, and sometimes there are just better players on the board that don't fill a need. I need to emphasize this because I think some people don't really understand that, but I don't know. People see the draft in different ways, but I really like the approach of taking the best player available. Right here, look, gonna be completely honest with you. Don't know many of these names this early in the draft process here. But what we're gonna forget. Let's take Moro Ojomo. Okay, another defensive interior. Right here to help stop the run. So, does that sound good to you guys? Sounds good to me, man. I don't want to see McCaffrey running down our throat again. Okay, so these are the draft grades that we got here. To be honest, I don't really care about what this says. I mean, they had Quentin Johnson as the number 8 overall prospect, and then they gave me a B for taking him at number 17. It says all I need to know about this grading system. But look, again, a mixture of best player available and drafting players for need. Look, Will Anderson's going to fill a need. Siaki Ika's going to fill a need. That's great, right? And these are the 2 picks that we got here from the Denver Broncos, right? And then Quentin Johnson, he's going to start day 1 on this football team, in my opinion. Devin Witherspoon could too. I really like the way that this draft went. I got a lot of my favorite players in this draft, and I think this makes the Seattle Seahawks team miles better than what it looks like this year, and they're already competitive in some sort. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Oh my God, I cannot speak. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys all later.